welcome to each one of you. This is the Naomi Talk Show with you, truly Liz Kenya, and kama kawaida, I'd like to appreciate each one of you that has become part of the big family that we are becoming. Because guess what? You have chosen to grow us, and I'm here to say asanteni sana. To anyone coming across our content for the very first time, this is what we want to assure you in every story we get to share. There are three things therein. You'll be equipped, you'll be inspired, and you'll be educated to do life the way God intended. Because as we always say, God has a manual of how we ought to do life. And so this is a place where we dissect that manual, break it down so that we can be able to actually understand clearly how life ought to be done. So karibuni sana. Now, the topic of today, parenting and understanding Generation Alpha. I think we've put so much emphasis on Gen Zs and everything, and we've forgotten kuna ka generation kako hapo nyuma, and they are warming up. Now they are teenagers because it's between 2010 and 2024. Actually, they are not just teenagers. They are almost now, some of them are young adults, wako hapo wanacheza. So we also need to look at them, understand them, and be clear in our minds as we go around them. Tusiwalaumu sana. Unajua pia kuna generational gap, vitu zingine wanafanya hatuelewi. We are wondering which space are they coming from. And so today, we want to look at how we can be able to understand them, and that we are able to parent them properly as they grow. Remember, that's the more digital generation. Wajana hata na hii Gen Z. Hiyo sasa iko ndani, imeogelea ndani ya magadgets, and they can actually, wanaweza tu kukuuza ukiwa hapo kama mzazi. Wakuuze, wako kwa gadgets. That's how serious they are on these gadgets. So I'm not intending to scare any parent. We are here to learn. And of course, my guests, before she even gets to introduce herself, a while back, we did a segment with her, which was the effect of excessive gadget use on young children. I hope you got to check it out and you learned something. And today she's here with us discussing about parenting Generation Alpha. So grab your notebook, a pen, sit at a quiet place, because learning begins now. Tuko pamoja? Thank you. So karibu sana.
Thank you, sana. Thank you, Lisa.
Kindly introduce yourself.
My name is Fidel Magashure. I'm a counseling psychologist, a mentor, and a trainer in the field of mental health. I'm so grateful to be here today, and I hope that we'll be able to learn together on how to parent Gen Alpha. Thank you, viewers.
And I hope I got it right. It's from 2010 to 2024.
Yes,
the
2010 to 2024.
So hapo sasa sijui unajua Gen Z came into the picture. Some of us did not know even where the borders are between one generation and another. But I think out of what we experienced last year, now people started to be sensitive on where the borders are, and also trying to understand this generation operates this way, this one functions this way. And so my understanding is that it becomes easier for us even to be able to parent and to work with them and not misunderstand them.
Exactly.
So quickly, this generation inaitwa Alpha. You being in this field, working with them as a counselor, what are some of the characteristics that define a Generation Alpha child?
Okay, Generation Alpha kids, one thing that really defines them is the fact that they are digital natives. Like that is their world, the world of technology. This is a generation that knew how to swipe even before they walked. And they understand the world of gadgets, the iPad, the Twitter, TikTok.
Snapchat.
And Snapchat. Yes.
Wow. That is one.
That is one. Number two, they are globally conscious. Like they understand the issues to do with what is happening in the globe.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes. When it comes to issues to do with pandemic, if you ask a Gen Alpha about COVID-19, they'll tell you exactly what happened. They'll even tell you about issues to do with climate change. They're so concerned about what is happening in their environment.
Concerned?
Yes.
But we assume they are not. Anyway, wacha. Si tuko class.
They're able to Google because they are learning science and technology.
Yes.
So they have to understand their lessons and what have you. So that even as they go to apply it in their learning, they really understand. That's why most of the time the teachers send them to come and download stuff. So that even as they learn, they are able now to relate with the information. Then number 3, they are very confident and very assertive. This is the generation that if you're not firm as a parent, they'll take you in circles. They know what they want. And sometimes being assertive, it can be misunderstood, like they are disrespectful to their elders.
So they question a lot.
They question a lot because they love interaction.
And being, of course, a generation that is also quite informed.
Exactly.
They have info. So pia wanaweza kakutega na swali na wanajua majibu lakini wanataka kupima akili yako.
Yes, they want to know because already they have the answers. But they want to know, Mom, anajua nini concerning this issue. By the time they are coming to find out answers from you, know that already they have already Googled. So it's up to you as a parent to be on your toes.
Ni kukupima akili yako wajue, mama hapa anajua up to what level of the thing that I am about to ask. Na ndio tulianza kusema wanaweza kukuuza ukiwa umeketi. Ashike gadget, akuuze, ukuje tu kuchota ubebo because they are very in touch with what is happening, as you're saying, globally, and also the gadget awareness and the swiftness, the confidence and the assertiveness in them.
They're also very visual.
Visual, what do you mean?
In terms of they would prefer to be given a video to watch than a book to read.
Oh. Okay.
And that's why with the CBC, the government has come up with a curriculum that suits them. That's why most of the time they are given assignments to go and download, other than to go and research. So the research has to do with gadgets. It has to do with finding information in the internet.
Hapo sasa niko na swali tunaambiangwa that wisdom and knowledge is hidden in books. There's actually someone who said Africans will remain poor because they don't read. Because all the wisdom, the wealth, the knowledge is hidden in books. So does this now visual equate to the same info a book can do for them?
I would say yes. Because they would rather, if for example, is a topic to do with the environment, instead of sending them to do a research in the book, they would rather research through the video. They download videos that talk about environment. That is how they understand their world. That is how they can be able to connect.
Wow. Na sasa tunawaambia wasikae kwa TV. Wasikae kwa gadgets. There is a conflict, right?
You have, as a parent, you have to balance. You have to balance and create even screen time. If they are supposed to research something online, you allocate some hours for them to be able to research. Then after that, you shut. Yes.
That's right.
Otherwise, if we let them continue to stay in researching and what have you, they might come across information that is not appropriate for their age. Yes. So as a parent, that's why most of the school they are saying, with the help of your guardian or your parent.
Yes.
Yes.
But you see, parents are not there. We are also staring at a possible danger now because the gadgets are there, but the parent is not there.
That's why it's very important as a parent to be very intentional as you raise your child. It's better when a child is doing their assignment, as a parent, you be there. Even if it is during weekends, kindly avail yourself being there. If, for example, they are given that assignment on a weekday, ensure that you're able even to reach home earlier so that you can be able to do research together. Yes, so that will be able to shield them from exposure to content that is beyond their age.
Now, I was doing a small research on these gadgets, and now I came across an article that was saying the gadgets we have now have a facial recognition. So the minute a child is so much used to this gadget, they can tell this is a 10-year-old and 11-year-old. And so what they are doing, in between the videos, they're introducing ads that are extremely off and bad ones. So one parent was saying, their child one time ali scream. Kasema, ouch, this is so horrible, it's terrifying, it's horrifying. By the time the mother steps in and asks what is it, the ad is gone. So the mother was still trying to hang around until she realized this gadget has recognized the face has changed, it's that of an adult, and so they are not bringing the same violent ads they were bringing. But you see, for you to be able to check that, as you're saying, you have to be extremely present.
Extremely present.
Very present.
Yes.
Whoa. Okay. So we have said already 4 things. They are globally conscious. They are quite aware on gadgets. They are confident and assertive. And they're also visual.
And they are very interactive.
Very interactive.
Yes.
But they are kwa gadget, ama hivi.
Even they are able to engage you as a parent.
Okay.
Yes. And you see, when we were growing up, Liz, there is no way that you could interact with your parent.
I know
especially on issues to do with that. There
our
are topics,
generation.
Yes.
There
were topics that was out of bounds. Extremely out of bounds.
Actually, much of what we did was to answer when the parents asked or was engaging us. Sio sisi confront
exactly
the discussion. It had to come from them, and still bado ulikuwa na engage ukipima.
But these days they can ask you anything. Anything, name it. And you're like, oh my God, during my days, I could not even ask my mother about this. But they have the boldness and the courage to ask you as a parent. And you're left wondering, now, how do I answer this? But as a parent, it is very important. As you answer, as you deal with that child, start with the known. Find out what do they know about that topic. Then as they begin to share their experiences, or as they begin to share what they know, you will know the information that you are supposed to give them. Yes.
How far you can also speak to them about that issue.
Exactly.
They are talking about. Na akiniuliza kitu nistuka.
In fact, ukimwonyesha umeshtuka, they are like, even mama anakaa ni kama ajui.
You can imagine you're in the kitchen probably, or you're doing something. You never saw it coming. So for some of us who are very, our facial expressions do not
they
betray us. You go, So that will discourage this child, or how do you manage that?
I would say it may discourage a child to some extent, because they are wondering, kwani nimeuliza mam nini? Is it that they are not aware of what is happening? Or nikisema, will this information be used against me? So maybe next time they will be very cautious. Even that which they want to find out answers from you, they'll approach you with a lot of caution. So it is important to be calm and collected as you deal with them and as you answer their questions.
Majosi tukuwa toka hapa. Unaenda ukienda.
Yeah. But times have changed.
Oh my goodness. How many points do you have? Me, I have, again, we are repeating. See, I said we're in a class. Global awareness, they are quite assertive, they are visual, they are very interactive people. Hapo ndio tuko. Lakini wacha nirudi pale kwa they are quite assertive. So an assertive child, how does then the parent, because you never stop being a parent. You're still the parent, you're still the authority in this child's life. How then does a parent go around it without killing the spirit of this child? Because even as the scripture says, honor your father and mother so that you're... But then hapo chini, atusomeangi watoto. Mahali kunaambiwa mzazi usifanye nini? Do not like demoralize, do not kill the spirit of your child. I'm just paraphrasing. Do not kill the morale and the spirit of your child. Hapo atusomangi. So now to avoid this child who is quite confident and assertive, tusiue roho yake. So how do we then keep the balance of I'm still the parent here. I've heard you with your confidence and your assertiveness, but these are the rules that apply here. Okay,
Liz, thank you. It is very important as a parent to realize that in as much as our children, the Gen Alphas, are very assertive, their level of assertiveness does not mean that they are disrespectful. What they want is just to engage with you. Because at times, utaenda kuchapa Gen Alpha child. Akwambia mama mwacha kwanza. You know, in our times, ukiambia mzazi ati mama mwacha kwanza, discuss nini? Discuss nini? It was the parents' way or the highway. But these days, they want you to engage. And that is why they are questioning the why. Mom, in the first place, kwa nini unanichapa? Allow me to express myself.
Fidelva, you just taken me way back. Ulikuwa unachapa unalia, unauza mbona unalia?
Exactly.
Then you stop crying. Oh, nikikuchapa sasa hata wezi lia. Juu umekuwa kichwa ngumu. And then you wonder how exactly.
And sometimes inafika mahali even that food ukuli because umefanya makosa. These days hebu fanyia Gen Alpha hivyo. Kuuliza mama. Kwa nini unanikataza chakula? It is my right. And wanaanza kukupatia the rights of a child.
So yeah, we are still looking at what do you do now as a parent?
Okay, what do you do as a parent? One is to foster open communication. Because as you parent these children, they need you as a parent to be open to them. And that's why they're asking a lot of questions. And you can only foster open communication when you are actively listening to them. And as you listen to them, you're able to pick what they are processing, what they know, how they view their world. You're also able to pick hunches. Those things that are unspoken. You know, anakupatia story, but in the storyline you can be able to pick
between the lines.
Kuna hii na hii ninaambiwa. So if you're not actively listening to this child, there are things you can miss out. Because Gen Alphas wata communicate in such a way that if you don't understand, ni sawa mami wacha tuachie hapo. See. Number two, as you foster open communication, encourage, discuss about global issues. That way, you'll be able to open their minds and foster creativity. So that they think, like, why is the sky blue and not gray? So with that, as a parent, you open their world view.
So in short, mzazi pia achangamke.
Achangamke kabisa.
Ajue kile kinaendelea.
Ajue kile kinaendelea.
Wow.
Because these Gen Alphas watakuja wakuulize maswali. And if you're not grounded enough, or you do not have the information at your fingertips, wataona, kwani mami yako aje? He's so old school, And to them, you are their hero. So they know you are supposed to know everything as a parent. Yes. Although at some point it is very important to say, to allow to be vulnerable to the child. Let them know that I may not be in a position to know exactly this right now, but give me some time, I can be able to find out. Then later on, you come with the information, and then you even show them even the site and what have you. Yes.
Good.
The number two, you can be cultivate emotional intelligence and resilience. Like I don't know why there are some kids that don't know how to manage the emotions, and social media comes with a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, true.
There are some sites that can really awaken the anxiety levels of a child. And so as a parent, it's very important to teach them to regulate their emotion, their self, such that even if they consume information that is very shocking or information that creates anxiety, they can be able to calm down. Number two, teach them in terms of emotion, teach them empathy. Because you realize as they interact with internet and what have you, there is a lot of cyberbullying.
Exactly.
Yes. And so there are some kids who, there are some kids who are not taught empathy, and when they get to the social media, they are so mean with their comments.
I know.
So it is important as a parent to teach this child empathy, and as a parent, you'll be the first recipient of empathy, because not just right now they are growing, but later in your old age, you'll need this child to be there for you. And if you did not cultivate that empathy when they are young, even when you're old enough and you need their empathy, you need their support, they will not be there for you. Liz, we have psychology has come up with 4 conscience that I think they are very important even as we raise our children. And the first one is intelligent quotient. And intelligent quotient has to do with issues to do with comprehension. And comprehension is that ability to calculate and understand like mathematics and what have you. That one we know. However, there are other intelligence like music, art, what. Then there is the emotional intelligence, that one that I'm talking about.
The EQ.
Yes, the emotional quotient. And it's emotional quotient is the ability to regulate your emotions in terms of keeping them at check so that they don't go overboard. Like even if you're doing something, you're calm and collected.
Yeah.
And that's why most of the kids, especially the Gen Alphas, if you're not keen as a parent, they will have their way. And they will throw tantrums because they will manipulate you. Now, wakwambia, you are supposed to buy them PS. You are supposed to buy them iPads because they have seen their colleagues having iPads. So as a parent, it is very important to help that child normalize those emotions and tell them, okay, I may not be in a position to have this right now. How about I buy ABCD, and then later on I can be able, if I get the finances, I can be able to buy you this. So as a parent, you have an upper hand in terms of helping your child to be well adjusted when it comes to their emotions. Then we also have the social quotient. You see, with the technology, most of the Gen Alphas, they want to be online throughout. And the social bit of life, it is left out. the social interaction. So as a parent, it is very important to realize that these kids, they need to be out there. They need to form meaningful connections with their peers. They need to build those networks and be able even to sustain them. Because Liz, you'll agree with me that unakumbukanga even your childhood friends.
Yeah.
And you can be able to meet together, you party together. And it means a lot, even when you are going through a tough time, you know, I have a shoulder to lean on. And they can even come in handy. See, so social networks are very important. And it is very important, even as we parent these kids, to allow them to go out and to play.
Repeat that again, because it's like you've foreseen a program that is coming up. You're talking about your child's play and their mental health. What is the relationship? Umenenewa na Mungu. You are confirming. It is important, by the way. Please repeat that.
Yeah, it is important to allow the child to go out and play. Because as they play, they're able to release stress.
Yeah.
Because you realize social media comes with a lot of emotional overload. Not emotional, but information overload. And the more you're able to allow these kids to go out and to play, they're able to relieve that stress. Even their workload is very tight, and they need once in a while to go out and to play. Two, it has a lot of impact in terms of their mental development. So as they play, as the mind releases that stress, it is able now to build memories.
Yeah.
Because they are able to sleep well. And as they sleep, sleep comes with the ability to create memories. So if they don't go to play, they don't get to relax. And even sleep becomes a problem. So that's why some kids wataamuka even in the middle of the night because they're stressed up. Pengine anakumbuka kuna kitu aliwatch, all of a sudden this child anashtuka tu. But if you allow the child to go out and play, it means a lot in terms of their development. There is a lot we can talk about that, but allow me to go to the next quotient, adversity, adversity quotient. As we raise our Gen Alphas, it is very important to help them to go through situations in life, not to help them, not to rescue them.
Thank you.
Not to rescue them. Because adversity quotient is about kids being in a position to go through a tough path, but not losing their mind. So as a parent, as you work with them, when they're doing a task, don't feel that you need to rescue them. Allow them to go through that process.
Even when they're feeling frustrated.
Yes, because it's building resilience. And at the end of the day, they will be able to bounce back. Yes. It doesn't mean that rough path, itawamaliza.
By the way,
They will be able to bounce back. And through that, they will create resilience in life.
Hapo umeongea kitu muhimu, kwa sababu siku hizi wazazi ni helicopter parents. They are just egos. Unachungulia, you rescue your child very fast. Unachungulia, even when they are playing outside, anyang'anywe ball, you find a mother flying. Instead of allowing the child wanyang'anyane ball, aanza kudevelop problem solving skills. Nenda una rescue mtoto wako. Mbona mnanyang'anya Timo ball? Your child is always protected. No challenges.
You see, those challenges, they make them grow. And they make them to be well adjusted in life so that they know how to defend themselves. They know ball yangu ikichukuliwa. It is okay kuchukuliwa.
Yeah.
But
how do I negotiate?
Yes, how do I negotiate so that I can get it back? But then parents want to rescue, which is not healthy. and which is not helping the kids in the process.
Exactly. Wow. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have another number 3. We have talked about you create a consistent supportive environment as a parent. As you parent these Gen Alphas, they need routine. Because if you leave them by themselves, they will stick to the social media throughout. Internet, TikTok, Snapchat, name it. So it is very consistent, help the child to stay focused.
Yeah.
They know when I wake up, I'm supposed to brush, I'm supposed to air my bed. Then after that, I come, make my bed, supposed to take breakfast. From there, I'm supposed to, after breakfast, I'm supposed to do my daily chores. Then after that, I get to homework. That consistency helps the child to know, to be certain about life. That I'm supposed to do A, B, C, D. I have a program of activities. When you leave your child aimlessly, without establishing that routine, they will not thrive well. That's why in schools they have the timetable.
Yeah.
So that they know from 8 when I get to school, I'm supposed to do ABCD. At 9, at 10, we have this lesson. Until lunch hour, we are supposed to eat lunch. In the afternoon, we are doing ABCD. We are going for swimming. This is the time for swimming. And it helps even the child to organize themselves mentally and psychologically. Yes.
Wow.
So as a parent, if you start introducing, today ni hii, kesho ni ile, kesho kutwa ni ile.
Kababali unataka kufanya?
There is a lot of inconsistency in the life of that child. Children thrive well where there is structure. At least they know things are in our home, things are structured.
Yeah.
Hata akiulizwa na nani anajua,
Kwetu.
Kwetu nikiamka nafanye hivi. And this helps the child. Hata wale wengine wakikuja from other homes wakuje wacheze, wamuite acheze, na waambia hapana. Gojeni. I'm supposed to do ABCD. After that, naeza kuja.
So I find that quite informative because I think we're also having a generation that looks at kupea mtoto tukazi kwa nyumba. It's just too much. You know, so mtoto anagrow akijua whatever I need, you've got it. There was once a supermarket that had that slogan. You need it, we've got it. But the child hana place yake ya, they need to know that things are worked for. For a house to be clean, someone needs to work at it.
Exactly.
For a meal to be on the table, someone needs to prepare it.
Thank you.
So unapata mtu ako pale, watoto wana grow, hawezi hata kata kitunguu, asimwage machozi. Ajua kitunguu ni kali. But I like what you're saying, that consistency and having that routine, a child knowing that there are responsibilities that come with every stage of your life. Then they'll grow up to be responsible adults when they grow. Tumesoma. And uko na kitu kingine ya kuongeza juu naona time pia imetuhepa. On
the point ya consistency, as a parent, you're supposed to be the role model for a child. There's no way utamwambia that usiende kwa social media, and this child at the end of the day anakuona mom, she's always on social media. So it beats logic. Atasema hata mimi siwache nikae. Have you had a situation whereby your son anakuambia si hata mom wewe unakaanga kwa social media sana? So they are mirroring back what you do. Mom, you are saying A and you're doing B. See monkey, they see and monkey they do.
See, monkey do.
They do.
So what are you doing as a parent in that house? What exactly are you? Because what you're doing is what your children will become. And they'll actually add fertilizer to it. Because now they are a step ahead of you. They have the energy, they have the zeal, they have the curiosity. So they just add fertilizer to what you've been mirroring to them. And I hope you will love the product. of what you'll have produced. Purely said, be involved as a parent, be engaged, be very intentional, be present. Present. Because you can be present and doing nothing. Present out of touch. Present not even knowing which one is going where. And I loved what she said when she said, be also informed with what is happening globally. Kusikuwa kunarushwa discussion, unaambia watoto then they start saying, aki mama wewe ni wa mzee ni wa tene. It's not a good phrase. Try to be in touch.
And please allow me to say one more thing.
Yes,
that
as
is
we
very
finish.
important as I finish. Foster spiritual growth. Because many a times we are raising our children, not giving them that ability to grow spiritually. And I worked in a rehab, and one of the steps of dealing with addiction was the fact that they realize that they are powerless without a higher power, and a higher power being God. So there is no way that we can raise our children without sending them to Sunday school.
Yeah.
So that they can be able to develop morals. That is why we are having a lot of deaths, left, right, and center. Nasikia fulani, maybe a boyfriend was ditched by a girlfriend, and they took the law on their hands, and they kind of stabbed the girlfriend. Why? Because morals. Yeah. There is a lot of moral decay. And as we parent our kids about, they are so much into social media, and the social media has a lot of violence. Sometimes you may not know what that child has consumed in terms of being in the social media. But the spiritual part, it really comes in handy to cushion them from such kind of things. And even as they develop their muscles in terms of spirituality and what have you, it is very important as a parent to instill virtues. Virtues concerning the sanctity of life. That you cannot just take life at your You're supposed, life is very sacred. And you begin now to work with them in terms of kuwajenga spiritually. See, most of the kids who are not taught morals, when they grow up, they don't have a moral backup, and they don't develop conscience.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm trying to see with what is happening around us. Really, I think 2 days will go without you hearing this one killed that one, this one murdered this one. And you're wondering, what exactly is happening?
Yes. Because there is a structure of personality, and as a child develops, they develop through 3 stages. That is a theory that was developed by a psychologist, Sigmund Freud. He came up with 3 stages of personality, how personality develops from the time the child is born to the time they are 5 years. Because basically, personality of a child develops from 0 to 7 years. After that, there is nothing that you can be able to add to this child. Although personality can be very fluid, depending on the environment where the child is raised. There is id. The id is very present from birth, and it is very pleasure seeking, and you realize the child wants pleasure. Anything concerning their well-being, it's about getting that pleasure. And so, as a parent, it is very important to realize that even as I parent this child, I should delay their gratification, not just to allow them to have their way every now and then. Know when the id is at play. So that you are not manipulated. Hata ukikaambia kaende Sunday school, kana kwambia hapana, mami nataka kuona video fulani.
Na unasema sawa baba.
Na unasema sawa. That spiritual connection, it will help them to do with that part of personality, that id level. Then as a child reaches 2 to around 3 years, they develop ego. Ego is about reality.
Yeah.
So they are able to realize that there is no two ways about it. I have to do this and this and this. So I have to go to Sunday school. I have to learn. I have to respect. So id is in touch with what is happening on the ground. But then allow me now to tie now the spiritual well-being and the superego. The superego is about morality. It is the judge, and that is a moral compass of a child. So as you raise, the more you allow the child to go to Sunday school, to be nurtured there, and even your input as a parent, the more they are able now to develop morality, and even their conscience begins now to grow, to realize, oh, I'm not supposed to do this, I'm not supposed to do this. So their super ego develops, and if they are going, they do something that is contrary to what they are taught, the super ego tells them that you are not supposed to do this. Remember, in Sunday school, you were taught ABCD. Remember, your parent taught you this, this, and this, and this. See. And kids who are not taught morals, their conscience is void.
Wow. Where?
So they don't have anything to draw from. So even if they do something, there is no...
They are numb.
Yes, they are numb. They are emotionally numb, simply because they did not develop that. So it is very important for these children, as we parent them, to expose them to Sunday school, where they are able now, their spiritual well-being, it is catered for. And even us as a parent, we are able to instill the right values to our children. Yes. So even if they are out there doing their own things, whatever you've invested in that child, they can be able to take care of themselves. They know when things are getting out of hand. They develop self-control. Because once they develop the superego, it gives them even the self-control. It's a judge. He is telling them that this is not right. And finally, balance, offline and online. Yes.
This is a whole curriculum. I think we need to take time to dissect each one of them. And my notepad is full, you can rest assured, because there are many things that we need to do as parents to be able to effectively parent Gen Alphas. Tunaanza kengine hapa sasa, sijui kanaitwa aje. Kanaitwa? Inaitwa beta? Hii inaanza 2025.
Hii inaanza 2025.
Haya, hiyo nayo pia itakuwa na changamoto zake. But the beauty is when God gives us these gifts called children, He has entrusted you and I as stewards to guide them. And so it's upon you and me as a parent to seek the information we need to be equipped to be able to bring out a holistic human being when they grow up. And I would leave you with this thought. If you walk to a hospital today and you try to describe to the doctor how you're feeling, and the doctor tells you, by the way, I am not qualified, I am not competent, or you simply discover the doctor is a quack, what will you do? You feel very scared. Now, as a parent, the same thing. You have to be equipped with knowledge on how to parent. Because should your child realize I am dealing with quote unquote a quack, you can finish the sentence. So let's rise up as parents. Let's take up the responsibility to do what is expected of us, because we shall give an account of how we stewarded the young ones entrusted to us. As you think and ponder on it, God bless you. See you next time as we discuss more on why Sunday school is important for a child. God bless you.